songs, let me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
You know, whether you slipped or you failed, or whether you tried it 10 or 12 times, when you finally grip that next bar, you've accomplished something. It kind of helps you with yourself. It grows and develops you. Parks develop you. That sets your limits on when you become an adult. You say, no, you know what? I can't slide down that slide that fast, or I can't jump that high. I won't be able, you learn how to have conversations. You learn how to get to the next step at the park. You learn all that at the park. There I go.
All right, we are live again, second day here at IPRA. We have a special guest, fellow contractor. For those of you that know me, I used to be a master electrician, so hopefully we can talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, I want to play our big thank you to everybody like Mr. Bryan that have come on the Daily Parks and Rec Show to highlight parks and recreation and what they do for their country and their local community. So shout out to everyone that's helped us and shown us a ton of love and support. Joby,
love and support,
why don't you go ahead and roll that, and we'll come back and start our conversation with Mr. Bryan.
It didn't start with a studio or a big budget or a perfect plan. It started with belief. Belief that stories matter. Belief that voices deserve to be heard. Belief that community is powerful. What began as a single conversation has grown into something far bigger than us. Today we pause, we reflect, and we say thank you. To our guests, thank you for showing up, for being honest, for trusting us with your stories and letting the world hear them. To our partners and sponsors, thank you for standing with us when the vision was still taking shape. Your belief gave this network its foundation. And to our audience, the ones who listened, who watched, who shared, who believed. You didn't just support DPRS Media Network, you built it. This past year changed everything. We grew our shows, we raised our standards, we reached new communities, and we told stories that needed to be told. From parks and recreation to sports, youth, technology, and culture. We learned something important. Growth isn't about numbers, it's about impact. As we grow, our mission becomes clear. Our mission is to create media that matters, media that educates, media that inspires, media that connects people through honest, human storytelling. To spotlight the people, the programs, and the ideas shaping parks, recreation, sports, and the future of our shared spaces. And our vision is bold. We envision a media network that doesn't just document the world, but helps shape it, where local voices spark global change, where communities see themselves reflected, and where media is a force for good. The future ahead is bigger than any single episode. More voices, more stories, more collaboration. Live events, original films, deeper conversations, and a growing community united by purpose. From episode 1 to episode 400, thank you for believing when it was hard. Thank you for staying when it was uncertain. And thank you for walking this journey with us. This is DPRS Media Network, built by community, driven by purpose, powered by stories. And we're just getting started.
What'd you think of our little thank you?
That was beautiful. That was really beautiful.
Yeah, we have some very talented video editors. Joby's one of them. She helps manage the stage. So shout out to Joby Kaplan.
Yeah, great
Eunice,
job.
Chris.
Beautiful job.
They're doing an amazing job. All right. So tell us what a commissioner is. For those that don't know, when you're a commissioner, maybe just give us a little definition.
So basically, the commissioner kind of oversees the board. It's a board of us of about, depending on the people that are in your community, that will determine how many commissioners there are. And there are like 5 of us, and I'm one of the commissioners. And we basically oversee the park district for Homewood-Flossmoor.
Now, what inspired you to step up to this? Is voted? You're voted into this?
I'm voted in. Yes. Thank you for all 5,437 people that believed in me. Thank you so much.
Now, what inspired you to kind of take that next step to be able to run for office and help like you're helping out right now?
So I'm happen to be fortunate to live in the Homewood-Flossmoor area, one of the most beautiful cities in the United States, I believe. To be in Homewood-Flossmoor, we believe in a community, camaraderie, raising our children, education, and so that's a platform for our kids. We do anything for our kids. I worked in the school district, and that's when I saw a glimpse of how we see and view our children and where we want them to go, and giving them the start that we would like them to have. A lot of people move into the subdivision because of the school district, and because the teachers there, they really put a beautiful job that they're doing in the school district, and then it pours out into the parks and recs as well. You could see it when you drive through the neighborhood. You see the greenery, you see you see what we're doing in the area, you see the parks, you see how the community come out and they celebrate everything that's going on. So it makes you proud to live in that area. And one of my goals is, if you don't live there and you're driving through and you look around and you say, wow, this is a great place to raise a family. And when you were a kid and you say, one day I want to buy a home and get married and have kids, how did you view the area? How did you view your kids walking to school? When you walked to school, and when you were in the 8th, 9th, 7th, 6th grade, what did you see? Where did you go after school? Did you play baseball in the park? Did you toss football around? We have a facility there where the kids can ice skate in the winter, outside. We have a splash pad. I thought about myself. If I was 7, 9 years old, and my mom drove past that place and I saw that splash pad out there, I don't know, Mom, I don't know where you're going, but we need to stop. We need to stop. Not McDonald's, Mom. Can we go there? I want to go there. How do I get there? That's what I would have thought,
And the playgrounds that you're seeing today are like little Disneylands in your backyard.
Exactly. We have a skateboard park, we have an ice arena. What neighborhood when you were a kid, what neighborhood had an ice arena?
Wow.
I don't know why you want to live anywhere else.
Yeah. I'd love to play a little video that we made for, unfortunately, one of the problems we discovered as we created the DPR's Media Co. is Parks and Recreation during COVID was considered a non-essential service.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it got stuck in this bucket, separate from like police and fire and healthcare.
Right.
And so we were asked by many of our show guests, is there anything you can make to help reframe the conversation that we can play in front of elected officials that might not work every day in and day out in Parks and Rec to show the value we're bringing to our communities? So we made this promo. It's free on YouTube. We don't copyright it or nothing. Our aspirational, we would love for this to be played in front of all elected officials so that they can get a little glimpse into the value that Parks and Rec brings to its community. So Joby, why don't you go ahead and play that? And then I'd love to get Mr. Bryan's take on it when we get back.
When we talk about essential services, what comes to mind? Police, firefighters, healthcare. But there's another essential service, often overlooked, yet always present: parks and recreation. Parks and Rec is health. It's the walking trail that lowers blood pressure, the recreation center where seniors fight isolation, the swim lessons that prevent tragedy before it happens. This isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Parks and Rec is safety, a playground instead of a street corner, a basketball court instead of trouble, a summer camp where every child belongs. It's not just about activity, it's about protection, prevention, and possibility. Parks and Rec is community. the festival that brings neighbors together, the cultural event that teaches respect and diversity, the open space where a city breathes. It builds bridges where division once stood. It gives people a reason to gather, to connect, to care. And Parks and Rec is economics. It strengthens property values. It drives tourism through events and trails. It saves on healthcare costs. Every dollar invested multiplies, feeding back into schools, into safety, into growth. Essential service is not just about survival, it's about thriving. And Parks and Recreation is where thriving begins. In wellness, in equity, in culture, and in joy. Parks and Rec isn't extra, it's essential. For our health, for our safety, for our communities, for our future. A message from the Parks and Recreation community.
All right. How'd we do? Any feedback on that?
That was beautiful. I like that. I like that. When you think about Parks and Recs, you're thinking about, a lot of people think about the playground and, but really what it is, it's more than that. It's where the kids learn to make friends. You meet your best friend at the park. You settle your differences at the park. You learn who you are, where your strengths are. When you're hanging on the jungle gym, and you're thinking, okay, if I can get to the next level, I'll be, I've accomplished something. And, whether you slipped or you failed, or whether you tried it 10 or 12 times, when you finally grip that next bar, you've accomplished something. So, that kind of helps you with yourself. It grows and develops you. Parks develop you.
Yeah.
How high can I go on this swing? How long can I swing around this, this particular ride? Or, how fast can I slide down this slide? Yeah. That sets your limits on when you become an adult. You say, no, you know what? I can't slide down that slide that fast, or I can't jump that high, or I won't be able, you learn how to have conversations. You learn how to get to the next step at the park.
Yeah.
You learn all that at the park.
Yeah.
You get your independence at the park when you ask your parents, hey, Mom, can I go to the park? And you stay longer than you were supposed to.
Yeah.
That was the first time that you were by yourself without your parents at the park.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, one of the things is shifting topics a little bit, and I know you've worked with education. How can this industry do a better job in reaching out to the next generation of young professionals and get them interested in dedicating their life as far as a career choice? One of the shows that we do every Thursday, we have a 5 p.m. show called the Young Professionals Network Show, 5 p.m. Eastern every Thursday, and it's run by our interns.
Okay.
But I noticed a lot of directors were like, Craig, we got to help get the word out to the next generation of college kids so that they can see this industry as a great place to work. What can we do as far as doing a better job of reaching out to them?
So I think one of the things that you could probably do is when you work for the Park and Rec, those are behind the scene jobs. Those are thankless jobs. You don't see them digging the ground for putting in a playground, or you don't see everything that goes into it to make that a park, how green the grass is, all the events. You just see an event. You just see something there, and it's the park. If you spotlight those positions and you spotlight those people, that would shine up. Then that little boy, your son, your daughter, that little kid that was, that sees that can say, wow, how do I get to how do I do that?
Yeah.
I see a spot for me here. So.
Yeah. Now, is this your first time at IRPA, or have you been here before?
No, this is my very first time.
Well, me too. I drove all the way from New Orleans because our plane got canceled, so we had to drive.
You live in New Orleans?
I live in New Orleans.
Wow, man, we have property in New Orleans.
No way.
Yeah.
How often are you visiting there?
I'm there probably once a year. So,
Okay.
yeah, so
Next
I have
time
a
you're in
cousin-
town, I'm gonna give you my number. We'll have to
Yes.
connect. And I love that city.
Oh man.
It's the hardest city to stay skinny in. I think we hold the world record for pain to stay small.
Yeah. Every time I get a chance to get some gumbo, man, I'm
Ooh,
telling you,
that's
seafood
it.
gumbo, not
That's
that
it.
chicken stuff.
Oh, it's good stuff. Yeah. All right. So we're going to take a little bit of time to talk about your contracting business. So
Okay.
tell me what you do, because I used to be a contractor. I was a master electrician, and I kind of miss that world now that I'm in the content creation
You
world.
missed that word.
Yes.
Swinging a hammer.
That's it. What got you involved in that?
So I was working for the state of Illinois with the tollway.
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to start, doing, and it came across was property preservation. Came across it. So I looked into that, and it was not easy to get in.
Yeah.
And once I did get in, was the tail end of it. I was in though, and as it dissipated, I started getting customers in the private sector.
Yeah.
And so when I started picking up customers in the private sector, I started learning about the business, picking up subcontractors. We started building, we were doing floors, and then I started doing kitchens. And next thing I know, I'm doing add-ons, and I'm doing roofing and plumbing and electrical.
That's it.
And next thing I know, then I get out in the commercial, and we just kind of went on from there.
Yeah.
So the name of the company is Walker Works LLC. We're in Illinois. And we do everything but new construction. Everything. Windows, doors, flooring, ceilings, asphalt, concrete, plumbing, HVAC. We do it all.
Now, how do you deal with those electrical contractors who never show up when they say they're going to show up?
No. My guys show up. My guys show up.
That's
we
it.
do a fantastic job. It took me a while to develop that relationship.
Yeah.
But once we got the relationship going, and we got the right people in the right place, they do excellent work.
Yeah.
The price point it reflects that.
Yeah.
So my guys show up. They show up, do a wonderful, fantastic job.
Yeah.
And we're out, and we're on to the next one.
Yeah, I remember when we were hiring, we only hired master electricians because we had a service company. We would fix these major problems that these our commercial clients would have.
Right. Okay.
And we were like, how do we get more young kids involved in this industry? And now with all these data centers begging for electricians, it's like they're making $200,000 or $300,000 a year just with a master's license.
Yeah,
crazy.
they are. I remember when I first started, I had picked up a guy who was really, really good. I had two guys working. One was, really, really reasonable, and the other one was at the other end of the price spectrum. And I asked him, I said, hey, I have another guy working with me. You're way more expensive than he is. Why is that? He said, because I show up on time and I don't take people's money.
That's it.
I said, okay. I said, all right, no problem. We're gonna go with that.
Yeah. An expensive electrician that shows up is better than a cheap one that never shows up.
Yeah, he shows up, and that's because my guy that's reasonable. A lot of times he don't show up.
Yeah.
Like, man, where are you?
Yeah.
And so for my other guy, he shows up.
Yeah.
When I get there, he's there.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's
all right.
Great.
So we're both first timers here at the IRPA convention. So what can you tell somebody that has never come to this? Why would they want to come to the Illinois Parks and Rec Association annual meeting here in Chicago?
So this is a good way to network. Number one, so there's people here from everywhere, all the parks. So if there's a particular municipality that you wanted to rub elbows with and network with and learn, they're going to be here. There are also other parks and rec locations that are here. They're doing it right, so you hear, and when they're doing it right, you hear about it. So you can run it, you can say, hey, how are you guys doing this? And how are you guys doing that? And what's going here? And you can exchange numbers and sit down and talk and network that way. And then there are the events. You have the exhibitors here, and then you have the different classes that are going on. And so you get to learn a lot. So, they have an app that gives you all the different topics, all the different situations or whatever. And so you can go on through it and sign up for whatever class, and they give you an hour, 30 minutes, an hour, some or an hour and a half. And then you can ask questions. They have accounting, program. They have different a legal program. Then, different, even how to communicate. They had just left one that was talking about communication, different types of hard communications that you can, practice. They give you little tidbits on how to move forward with that. So that's great. And then we're having a good time here. I get the chance to meet you.
That's right. We have about 200,000 parks rep professionals across America that eventually this trickles down to. So the whole country gets to see what's going on here at IRPA. We love getting the message out. And most of the time our shows run remotely from New Orleans. Okay. And so if you ever find yourself in New Orleans, I'd love to have you over. We can just go find something to eat. And well, tell me about your properties. So how'd you get a property in New Orleans? What kind of inspired that?
In New Orleans, well, so I grew up in Louisiana.
Oh, no. So, what part?
Shreveport.
Oh, yeah.
Shreveport, Louisiana.
I have close friends. I went to school at Louisiana Tech, so I had a lot of buddies.
I went to Southern University.
Oh, next door neighbor.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Southern's in, I was thinking of Grambling. Southern's in Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge. Southern's in Baton Rouge. That's correct. Yeah. Look at that. And then, so my grandparents, my mom is from Shreveport. She was born and raised. Yeah. And then when she graduated high school, she moved to LA. Yeah. And she went to USC. She graduated from USC. And while she was in college, I came along while she was in college.
Surprise.
Right. So I went to go live with my grandparents until she finished with her master's. And then I went to go live with my mom when I was 8 years old. And so while all that was happening, for the summers, I would be in California, and then I would go to school in Louisiana. And then when I went to go live with my mom for the summers, I would go to Louisiana. Yeah. Back and forth, so.
Yeah, and Southern has a great view of the Mississippi River. It's one of the few bluffs over there in that area.
It does.
Great town.
It is. Yeah. Had a marvelous time.
Yeah. Well, Bryan, thank you so much for coming on the Daily Parks and Rec show today and sharing with us a little bit of your journey. And as I said before, if you ever find yourself in New Orleans, look me up.
I will.
Go hang out a little bit and find some good food.
I know a few places. We will definitely meet up. And I'm gonna call you.
Let's do it.
I'm busy.
I'm never busy.
We're gonna eat good too. I'm telling you.
That's right. Okay. All right, Joby, you go ahead and close us out. Thank you for coming on the show today, Bryan.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.
In today's parks and recreation industry, communication, safety, and efficiency go hand in hand. That's where Outdoor Link comes in, delivering smart technology that empowers city departments and community planners to do more, smarter. Outdoor Link's platform connects and automates everything that keeps your parks running smoothly, from lighting and locks to signage, water features, Wi-Fi, and digital advertising. Control and schedule park lights for safety and energy savings. Remotely manage facility access. Update digital displays in real time. Coordinate fountains and splash pads. Provide public connectivity. And even run community or sponsorship campaigns on digital screens. All from one simple, unified platform, giving you real-time control, data, and cost efficiency. For parks and recreation agencies, that means safer spaces, smarter resource use, faster responses, and stronger community engagement. And behind every great park story is great infrastructure. That's why Outdoor Link proudly supports DPRS Media Company, helping the Daily Parks and Rec Show amplify the voices of professionals shaping our communities every day. Outdoor Link, smart, connected solutions for parks, recreation, and beyond.